How we doing, everybody? Out in the garage today, kind of dinking with something. I got this pressure washer from my brother-in-law, and he couldn't get it running. It wouldn't stay running. So a couple weeks ago, I went through and kind of looked it over, and I got it running. And I'm going to show you guys today what I did to get it running, and it is honestly probably the most common thing that happens to all these small engines. It's something that happens with the fuel. The fuel will get gummed up. Old fuel sitting over the winter, and you take the carburetor apart and you clean it out. And I'm going to show you kind of the general process on how to do it. Every other power washer or small engine is about the same way, but this one is a Subaru, branded Subaru on everywhere. I couldn't find it on Amazon or anything, but I'll show you the power washer here. So we could get started, but it would run for a split second and then shut off. And if you have that issue, then this is probably what you need to do. So let's dive into it and I'll show you what I did. So we start by taking the air cleaner off on this specific one. Most carburetors are the same. The carburetor is covered up by the air cleaner, obviously. This one just has one screw. Pull it off, set that aside. Pull the air filter out, set it aside. And this one has two bolts in here that we got to remove. So I will grab a wrench and we'll take that off. Set the nuts aside, pull the air box off. I just kind of pull it out of the way. This one has two sleeves that space off the air cleaner. Set them aside. Filter, set that off aside. Carburetor will pull off. This one has two cables, one for the choke, one for the throttle. And we have to remove both of them. Actually, we'll shut the fuel off and we'll take the fuel line off so that we can pull the carburetor all the way off. Just got a little compression ring on there you pull off. These hoses can be pretty stuck on there, so you might have to grab a screwdriver and pry it off. They also get dry rotted, so be pretty careful if you want to reuse this hose. I'll grab a rag, catch the fuel that's going to drip down. Make sure that the fuel is off, or else you're going to drain the gas tank when you do this. Carburetor all the way off. Disconnect these two and the spring that's attached to it. Be kind of finicky. There we go, that one's off. And that one's off. So now we'll take the carburetor up to the bench and we'll fire off the jet. So we got one bolt on the bottom. Carburetor's got some fuel in it. Make sure you got a rag for that. So I'll grab a wrench for that. That is as well a 10 millimeter. Pull it all the way out. Now the bowl will fall off. Set that aside. On this particular one, you have the float right here. That's a white piece. And the jet is down in the middle there. And they will have a flathead screwdriver on it. Make sure you get a good flathead. So it's just got a flathead screwdriver in it. So we're gonna stick that down in there. You gotta be careful with this. You do not want to strip this out, because if you strip that out, you will never get that jet out of there. This one I've already had out, so it's pretty loose. You just screw that all the way out. Yours is probably going to be stuck in there, so you're going to have to put a lot of force on it not to strip it. And then we will, once it's loose, it should slide right out. So this is your jet. And a lot of these get clogged up. The fuel will sit in it and gum up. What you need to do is get some carbon choke cleaner, spray it out. You can spray your whole bowl and everything out. There'll be a lot of dirt in the bottom of your bowl. What I also did was I took a small wire. If you got like a wire brush or something, you can get one of those wires and just kind of stick it down in the hole and clear out anything that's in there. And that's really all you have to do with it, and then just reassemble it. So we'll reassemble it quick and put it all back on the power washer. Start by dropping the jet down in there. You want to be careful not to cross thread it, so kind of start it easy. Once you know it's going, then you can run it all the way in. It doesn't have to be cranked down, it's just got to be snug. Once you get it snug, there is a O-ring on here that your bowl will fit in. Mine is starting to pop out a little bit there, so make sure, take your screwdriver and kind of push it down in there a little bit, make sure it's in there. Then your bowl will pop back on there. Make sure it's seated real good. Should kind of pop in there a little bit. If it doesn't, it's probably fine. Your bolt that you throw back in here will tighten it down against the gasket. Run it until it's hand tight. Put 10mm back on it. And once again, you don't want to over tight this, just snug it up. Then we can go back over to the power washer and we can put it back on. Turn the gas back on, give it a choke. On. There you go, 90% of the time, that is what it's gonna take to get something like this running. What are some other causes? It could be a spark plug. It could be your air cleaner's clogged, or that's really about it. Unless you blew it up, then that's all it's gonna take. 90% of the time, clean that carb, clean the jet, put it back together, and it's gonna start up and it's gonna run like new. So if you guys have any other thoughts on what could be wrong with somebody's power washer, then leave it down in the comments so that maybe I missed something. Maybe you can help somebody out. So if this helped you, give it a like, subscribe. I got garage build coming soon. I got the OSB up here that I'm starting. I'm kind of saving it up so that I can do the whole ceiling at the same time. So I'm gonna start kind of recording that as I go. So if you're interested in me finishing this garage out and insulating it and eventually heating it, subscribe and come check out some more content. Later.